Hello everybody, I hope you are well, and in today's video I would like to share with you some productivity hacks. Indeed, everybody wants to be productive, everybody wants to build things faster, more efficient, and just create a routine from it. As a developer, as a software engineer, we want to have our job, to make our job simpler by creating systems. Sometimes we are stuck, we dig directly into the code instead of thinking problem, how can I solve this and that problem? We have to draft a prototype, we have to break down the initial problem into smaller parts and then analyzing each part to be able to implement code to fix these kind of issues we currently have in the code base, and we have to use the right tools that are available for us. We shouldn't reinvent the wheel, and instead we should just focus on what we need to build today. And by analyzing the problem first, by breaking down the problem into smaller chunks, we will be able to start more rapidly in the main initial problem without spreading and getting lost in the initial task that we have been given for. And then you can use Trello. I'm a huge fan of Trello, but you can also use Asana. You can use Jira if you wish. Jira, I have used it for many years, but you like or you don't like it, that's fine. It's just a bit complex. Asana, I love it too. And thanks to those kind of tools, it will also help you to keep track of what you need to do today and then for tomorrow what we need to do. So when we have something in mind, you can just store it in a task, in a ticket, and then you can just forget about it. And once you have finished what you need to do for today, you can think of the next task thanks to the Kanban board, thanks to where you organize your workflow. And it's very important to organize your workflow that way. So to organize your workflow in tasks and then to see by columns where you have to start, which task for today, the ones for tomorrow, the one for next week. And that way you will be able to have a better overview of your, the main architecture of the code base you are working to, but also the problems you need to solve and the new features, so the new things you need to implement, and the best way you can implement those features. The best way to know how to implement those features is to have a really good understanding of the code base, and then to think before to implement the code, to think, okay, what would be the best way? By using the SOLID principles. So SOLID stands for S is like single responsibility, or open-close principle. So I can actually write it down here for you. SOLID principles. Okay, S for single responsibility principle, O for open-close principle, L for Liskov substitution principle, I for interface segregation, and D for dependency, not injection, but dependency inversion principle. That's the 5 ones. I suggest you to look on some videos. There are people explain it better than I would do, although I love the principle. I have initially learned it from Uncle Bob. His name is Martin something, Uncle Bob. And I suggest you to have a look. There's a fly there. So I was being distracted by the fly. Goodbye, fly. And so I suggest you to think first, okay, am I doing my work right? Maybe I should reorganize my workflow. Maybe I should prepare and work on my tasks differently. And yes, maybe you should. So by having a better way of thinking, better way of organizing your work, you will be able to be a better engineer. And sometimes, we believe we can be a better developer, better engineer just by repeating what we do. But no, you will just repeating the same mistakes, and that's not what we want. Instead, you should see yourself like you should. Oh, this fly on my arm. It's a bit annoying. It's like Napoleon Hill says once he said that for the success, you shouldn't look for the success like you're looking for an object, but instead you should, I don't know if I have I'm not sure I have it here in my notes, but basically you should transform yourself. You should change yourself to someone who can be successful. And it's the same for a software engineer. You should change yourself, transform yourself to be someone who can be a better engineer. So always see, how can I become a better engineer? What things can I implement in my routine, in my habits? And can I create a system to follow where I could just follow patterns after patterns, templates basically, to become a better engineer? And certainly it's possible. It's certainly possible, but you have to think twice before to be able to transform yourself. So this is what I suggest to do. This video is quite short, but it's just about the mindset, about the way you think to be a better engineer. How can I transform myself to be able to start and to dig into a task, an implementation of a feature in a more efficient manner? Sometimes we code directly things and then we realize, wow, I have to refactor my code for 3 hours because I haven't implemented it well, or maybe because I don't follow the solid principle, especially the S and the O, single responsibility. Usually when we quickly implement something, a quick dirty implementation, it will not be solid. It will not be single responsibility. It will not be opened for new feature, but closed for modification. So basically open, closed principle. I can read it for you. So it says software should be open for extension, for new features, for new things we want to implement, but closed for modification. We don't want to modify our code. We don't want to refactor something. If it's well implemented, there is no reason to refactor. We need to refactor our code because it wasn't correctly coded, it wasn't correctly architected, and that's the problem. So always think how I can make it better for the next time. I wish you a happy coding, and think about systems, think about how you can improve and how you can pivot yourself in your career to become a better software engineer.